you guys see us? We all good? It's really, really hot in the studio right now. We have the fans going, so if you see our hair blowing, just ignore it. If you see us sweating profusely, please ignore it.
We're glistening.
We're in the South. Listen. When you're raised in the South, girls don't sweat. We glisten. So we're just gonna be glistening for a while in here. Super excited to be here. We only have about an hour today, guys, because we got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow, which we will share with you guys once we have completed our mission. Is it called a mission?
It's a mission.
It's a mission. So, all right.
You're too tall. Like, she's normally not that tall. She's wearing wedges. You make me feel like a little shorty.
And I'm sweating like a whore in church.
All right. Too. We're both whores in church. We're also witches in church.
All right, you guys. Well, I'm super excited about this. We've got a lot. There's a lot of shenanigans happening up here in Connecticut. Of course, there's a lot of shenanigans happening all over the world right now. And I am going to say, before we get into the story at hand and what we're going to talk about, we have the awesome Bonnie Boss and Natalie from Questioning the Narrative are both in the chat moderating right now. I know you guys are always super kind to each other, so that goes without say. But I am going to request that we be careful with words we use, even in the chat. I know that's not fair. Trust me, I know I don't like censorship, but right now we're having to play the game in order to keep keep our channels up and keep going with our investigations. So just be really, really, really careful with the words you use in the chat. I'm going to ask Bonnie and Natalie if you see any words that you know are trigger words, like the A word for the particular substance. Please delete the comment. Let's be careful with any type of like SR starts with an ABUSC. Let's be careful with those words too, because we are going to get into some tricky territory with the subject at hand. I know you guys understand. I know you understand. And if you accidentally type a word in and your comment gets deleted, please, 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 it's not personal. We're just trying the best we can to get us to the end of this battle. And we know that, yes, we are very much still at the very end of this freaking long-ass Gog and Magog battle. I mean, why did we sign up for this? Oh, and Toronto's here too. My other moderator, she's here as well. I love you, Toronto. So glad you're here. So, yeah, so let's keep going. I'm going to try to watch. I have the chat on slow-mo so that I can try to catch some of the questions going by, but I'm going to ask all of my lovely ladies moderating right now, if there is a really cool question somebody asked and Stephanie and I miss it, will one of you or all three of you text Stephanie or myself? If Stephanie's reading at the moment, text me. If I'm going through my research, text Stephanie. Again, for you guys watching, I know most of you understand it is hard to do multiple things at one time. Hence the reason why I don't go live that much, because it is live shows are hard, aren't they, Steph?
They are biatch.
Yeah.
Yep, they sure are. I've only done one. Oh, I will be going live on Tuesday for your personal questions that I will be doing readings on. And I will, in that particular show, be doing the name drawing for 3 very lucky people who are going to win a free reading with me. If you want a free reading with me, go to my elemental reads that I did a couple of weeks ago. Go to your sign and put in the comments section the number 11. And this is for people who are financially having difficulties that cannot afford a reading. If you are not chosen, I will be doing this monthly for 2 readings free, because I have people donating for people to get free readings once a month with me.
And again, when my channel hits 60,000, I will be giving out some random drawing for some of you guys to get a free reading from Stephanie as well, for a celebration for hitting 60,000 on this channel. I do have names available. If you guys remember a couple weeks ago, we said we were gonna, when we tackled Myrtle Hill in Rome, Georgia, I said I was gonna draw some names for some of you guys to come on the channel and present your hometowns so that we can do a deep dive into them. I do have 3 names, but it's in my other notebook. You think Tyler would get that notebook for me if I text him or you text him? It's sitting on the sofa.
Yeah, he'll do it.
All right, shoot him a text. So I'm going to have Stephanie's personal assistant, a.k.a. her son,
Tyler,
get my notebook that has the names in there so I can go ahead and read off the names. I will also be putting them on my Twitter page later today, as well as the community tab for Esoteric Atlanta. So, all right, let me see here while she's texting Tyler, and then we'll get started. We're going to be talking about a state park here in Connecticut, and Stephanie mentioned something to me about this state park last night. Now, before we get started into this story, we are going to be doing a deep dive into Salem. That's all I'm going to say about that. And of course, we know that in Salem, there was some shenanigans that happened. They tell us in the 1600s. I'm not so convinced on the date at this point, but we'll get into that when we get into the Salem Witch Trials. But there is a connection between Devil's Hopyard State Park and Salem. And if you don't see the connection at the end of this live stream, I will be talking about that connection in the Salem Witch Trials. So don't stress out if you don't see it at this point. We'll talk about that with Salem. All right, so Devil's Hopyard State Park. Stephanie told me about this place because she had heard some whispers of some shenanigans that were happening at this state park when she was growing up here in this area, or as a young adult here in this area. Kind of like the same stuff. If you remember, we went to Berry College, and I said, listen, when I was a kid, there were all these rumors and these legends of, you know, we'll say nefarious hubu-jubu happening at the state park or at the college. So it's kind of the same thing. So let's talk about this for a minute. This is obviously a state park. Anytime, you guys, if you've been on the channel for a long time, you know, anytime like a state is involved in confiscating land or putting something on a historical registry, red flags right away. That means the state does not want certain people. They want to be able to monitor who's on this land, right? So what's that?
Are you two sitting down? I'm getting tired just looking at you.
No, we're standing up.
We're standing up.
We're standing up, but I have literally been researching all day. So I've got, in the Southeast, I know this is bad in England because I did live in England for a while, but the Southern ladies call it fanny fatigue. You got fanny fatigue when you've been sitting for a long time, but our fannies in the Southeast are our butts, not our front part. So butt burn, basically. So I'm good standing up. I'm good standing up because I've literally been researching most of the day today. All right, so Devil's Hopyard State Park. Oh, yes.
You got the wrong one.
He grabbed the book from 1883. If you guys are following me on Twitter, that's the book he got. So we'll talk about that soon. All right, so it's located in East Haddam. Is that how you call it? East Haddam?
No, it is, Haddam.
Haddam.
East Haddam.
East Haddam,
Which,
Connecticut.
by the way, is a very, very dark town. If you look into East Haddam in general, it just, even today, you drive through it. I used to live very, very close to it in a town called Moodus. And it was very, very dark and very oppressive, where I actually went into a very deep, dark depression when I was in that area.
Yeah. I mean, that was true. We've gone to some other towns today. We are a few days ago, one town being Putnam, which we are going to be, I just actually found half of a breakdown having to do with Putnam. So we are going to get into that kind of stuff as we dive deeper into these territories. So it's located at 8 Mile Rivers and Chapman Fall, which Chapman Fall, apparently, from what I understand, is like the real pinnacle of this park. It's like this crazy waterfall, from what I understand.
Yes, it's gorgeous state park. It's absolutely beautiful. I've been there about, I don't know, 5 or 6 times. It's been a long time. It's been over 10 years. So my son's father, who was the nurse assistant in my life I was with, he lives very, very close to this state park. Actually, anything I've ever heard about it was through him. So what I had got from it, you want me to go into what I had got from it?
Yeah.
So what I had gotten from what I had heard through him was that witches did rituals on the mountain in the state park. I don't know the depths of it, and I did not look into it because I'm going to be doing card readings on this in this live video today. So the least I know, the better. But from what I had heard, it was a very, very dark place with heavy black magic from like the 1800s.
And I want to say really clearly before we get going in the story, when we work together, I don't share any of my research with Stephanie at all. In fact, when I was filming the first part of the case we're looking at with Putnam, I actually filmed it in a separate room so she could not hear the research I had found. So when it comes to reading, she's not being influenced by any of the actual research. And we know some of the information they give us is complete bullshit, but we always have to start somewhere. So that's where we start. So again, this is, yes, it is a state park. It's about 1 acre. I'm gonna admit something, guys. I'm terrible. Oh, Angie Tillman, you want to send us some pickles? What kind of pickles are you talking about, girl? Let's talk. What kind of pickles are you talking about?
I enjoy the chat. You guys are great. I love you all. Hello to everybody.
No, it's not from the
Not the
Hopi.
Hopi.
No, it's wrong side of the country. And Hopi, it's because of hops. They used to. We'll get into it. There was a place where they did malt for beers.
The Native Americans, or the supposed Native Americans that are in this particular area of the United States, is the Algonquin Indians. So it's a completely different tribe than the Hopi Indians, which were more like Arizona.
Yeah. And according to this little book from 1883, it does say in here that the Native Americans were a multitude of races, which does come into play in what we're going to talk about, especially with Salem, which Stephanie and I have been saying for a while now. Even though we grew up in the school system here in the United States where we were taught Native Americans looked a certain way, what we're getting now is that no, if we're looking at this land being the original Egypt, Babylon, all that kind of stuff, it was the Tartarian land, that there were a multitude of different races here. Blonde-haired, blue-eyed people, brown skin, brown hair, blue people, like there were a multitude. Short people, tall people, giants, all sorts of stuff. So, and that this book from 1883 does confirm that. And this book also talks about how the Native Americans had advanced civilization, which, LOL, that's Tartaria, right? So, so this book does talk about that. So when we're talking about Native Americans, that's an interesting, for me, I'm still trying to figure that out myself because it's totally different from what we were taught as American kids growing up here, that these Native Americans maybe weren't what we think they are. All right, so it is a 1 acre state park. Again, kind of embarrassing. I have a hard time with acreage. I don't know how big an acre is. It's like a mental block for me. Every time somebody says it's 4 acres, it's 5 acres, I'm like, I have no idea what that means. So anyway, it's 1 acre state park. They offer hiking.
Really, really small though. That's
really small.
Very, very small for 1 acre. So my yard is almost an acre.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Then maybe that's not accurate. Would be 1,000 acres?
1,000 acres is more.
Oh yeah, because I have a K there. I have a K there. Sorry, guys. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. That's so kind of you. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you. So I do have a K in my notes right here. It's 1K, guys, not 1 acre. I told you I don't do acres. Listen, numbers and the language is not. I'm more into the English literature, the theories, the philosophy. That's more my jam. So yes, 1K acre state park, so 1,000 acres of hiking, camping, fishing, recreation. It is managed by, again, another red flag. It is managed by the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. Stephanie,
yes.
Can we first pull on that? When there is a government institution, regardless of whether it's in the United States or from anywhere else in the world, that is for environmental protection, does this mean that they're hiding shit they don't want us to see?
Do I need to pull the cards for that?
I don't think you do, but
no, I don't. But let's look and see what the cards have to say.
Let's see what divine spirit. She did clean her cards before we started, guys. She did say to them that we did ask for only.
I'm channeling through only source creator at this point in time, just for major protection. Just from AI or any negative entities or black entities and stuff like that. So. I love looking at the chat, guys.
I know. It gets distracting. That's why we have moderators.
All right. So, is a state park meaning that the government's...
Oh, thank you, Lisa. That's so kind. You're amazing, too.
I know, Lisa.
All of you guys are amazing.
Lisa. I know Lisa.
Yeah. So, so again, the question to ask her is, when we have something like the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, I know all states, all countries have these entities. They may be called different things. Are they actually hiding something from the people? Because a lot of state parks are places we can't go. Oh my God, you guys are sitting in the super chats like crazy. Y'all are freaking amazing. Thank you guys. We can actually put that towards our gas to get to some of these locations we're going.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. So much.
Okay. So, so I am getting so the Four of Swords talks about something resting or sleeping or something like that. So what I'm getting from that energy is putting something to rest so you're not thinking about it kind of an energy.
Thank you, Tarot Destiny. Whooped back at you. Thank you.
And then we have the Five of Pentacles. So it's actually not going to hold going forward because Five of Pentacles is temporary. So it's like they tried to hide it, but it's like other people that are very much...
Thank you, Meg.
people that are wide awake, like such as us or you guys, if we were to go in these parks, we might start to pick up on stuff. So it's like they can only hide things for so long before stuff starts to come out into the open. Especially if you're like a psychic medium or you have some sort of spiritual gift and you're picking up on stuff. So it did hold for some people. But it's like I'm getting it's an imprisonment of whatever they're hiding. So yes, to answer the question. And I'm using a new deck that I don't use often. I just got this deck, so I have to count the swords and the pentacles sometimes because it doesn't say, and it's Roman numerals, and I don't know my Roman numerals.
I was about to say, I do. I can't help you.
Okay, so that's five. Yes. So 5 of swords. So it's like they wanted us to believe one thing and think of another. I mean, and not think of what the actual truth is, because swords are actually truth. You know, it's nothing's fictional about swords because those are words and thoughts. And then we have the 5 of cups here, so that's like disappointments. I am getting that they are hiding stuff, but it doesn't. They're kind of bad at it when it comes to people who are completely wide awake. So
I am like almost in tears at how many of you guys are sending in super chats. You guys are freaking amazing. And I know I say this on my channel all the time. I know Stephanie agrees with me with this. This is our channel. This is all of our channels. And literally we could not do this without y'all's input and without y'all's help. And so thank you. If I miss a super chat, I want you guys to know I am so beyond grateful and humbled by that. Thank you guys so much. Because yeah, I laughed.
You guys are generous.
You're very generous, and I laughed because it literally will help us with gas, because we are going to be going elsewhere, even more north of here. So I won't say too much because we know, as we have 99% of people are for our highest good on this channel, but we got that 1%. We know you're watching us, that you're not for our highest good, so we keep some stuff secret because of that. So. All right. So yes, they are hiding something. So anywhere. So Steph, Natalie just texted us. They want to know what deck you're using. So what deck is it?
Okay. It is called the Tarot of. I'm gonna put it in the chat, guys. Okay. Sorry, I'm taking the computer away from you for 2 seconds.
So she's gonna put it in the chat, guys. I'm watching too, that's why. Sorry, there shouldn't be any dead air, but there just was dead air because I was reading what you were typing.
So I'm going to send Natalie the link while you're talking.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So yes, the Hopyard, so Hop, Hopyard, does come from, and I do believe this is accurate. I don't even think we need to draw on this because it's not really important to the story, but it does come from this guy named George Griffin, who had a farm where he grew hops. So basically, it was like this, like a brewery almost for, the days of yore. Good to know our ancestors were having fun. I like a good brewery.
Yeah.
Shout out to my brother-in-law. I think that's his dream job, is to have a brewery. So I like a good brewery. So, yes. All right. Gilded Tarot is amazing. Eternal Light is the same guy who does the Gilded Tarot, right?
Yes, it's exactly. Actually, the Gilded Tarot is like one of my top favorite decks. Actually. Well, I don't have it with me. It's in the house, but I was going to bust that out too.
It's one of my favorite too.
Yeah, it's like super magical to read.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so what we're interested in is the Legends of the Devil. Why is this called Devil's Hopyard? And this, again, is where we get into, we're going to be getting into some of the Salem stuff as well. Okay. What we're taught, oh, you guys are so nice. What we're taught as Americans, so all the Americans in the chat understand this. I'm not sure about people from other countries. Is we are taught that, especially if you're of European descent, that our ancestors, one of the first batch of Europeans to come to the New World were the Puritans, all right? And that they settled what was then called first the Massachusetts Bay Colony, all right? And the Puritans were known for being very, very, very conservative, very, 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 very Christian. Okay, I have my speculation. So can we ask the first question again? Not the first question. Another question. Were the Puritans Satanists? Were they actually Satanists? Because everything's inverted, isn't it?
Yep.
And most of them were coming from.
And they wore black all the time. Not that. I mean, I wear a lot of black, and I wear it to slim myself down a little bit, so it's for different purposes. But they literally would not wear any colors.
Yeah.
They're very strict about it.
Yeah. And if you, I've done some deep dives into the Cromwell from England, and when they executed the king and he took over, they were Puritans. And so these were Puritans that were coming over allegedly. That's the story they tell us. We're going to get into why I think that's not the case in a minute. And this is going to get into Devil's Hopyard, because this is where, from what we understand, the original name came from, was from the Puritans.
Ooh. Not giving me a 100% answer. Oh boy, let's see.
A lot of swords and wands there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as I keep going, Greg, thank you for gas, not grace.
So actually, okay, never mind. These popped out. So I got an ace of coins. So before we go any further, cards are not for concrete evidence, and not to be used as concrete evidence. It's to be used as a potential. So I just want to put that out there. Use your own discernment on this. If it resonates, great. If it doesn't, great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. You guys are so kind. And Greg, no, I will not be eating more gas station grapes. It's not going to happen.
I won't let it happen. Trust me, that was a bad day.
But, if I eat gas station grapes, at least I know what I would look like if I were pregnant. Let's just put it that way. Because I've never been pregnant. So, no more gas station grapes.
So I got an ace of coins to the question. So it's saying yes, they were. But I think originally the actual word was, it's like they twisted everything. So originally this was people that were very much into nature and everything like that. And then it's like this group got swapped for another group. So it became more of a patriarchal type of group with the Emperor card. So that's a lot of masculine energy to it. But it was originally the Nine of Pentacles. So it was more like nature, but something happened. And then there was like mass hysteria, which we'll talk about. So this is like anxiety and disappointments. So it's like, this group originally was of peace and everything, and maybe more into like using the earth for good and going with the laws of nature. And then something came in, swooped in, and took over it, and then it became a Satanist manipulative. Yeah.
So let me get into why I said that, because there was a quote when I was actually researching Salem today, and I'm just going to read this quote because it's going to give us some insight into Devil's Hopyard. The witch trials taught us that to accuse someone of witchcraft was to take power over them. Okay, so the Puritans accused the Native Americans and these pagans, these heathens, as we're taught, not what we believe, guys, just, oh, thank you. I hope I'll be a cute pregnant girl. I don't think I'm going to like being pregnant. If I get pregnant, I don't think I'm going to like it. But anyway, let's get back to the story.
I hated it.
Let's get back to the story. The pagans, these natural-based religious Native Americans, used nature. They knew how to work with nature. They knew how to work with herbs, with plants, with medicinal medicine, right? This is what we understand. A lot of these people that were accused of witchcraft during the trials of Europe and that then came into the Americas, which we're going to get to, there's a reason why, they were accusing women of doing what basically I do, what I'm paid to do now, what I have one of my little certifications in, my authorization in, is to help people through homeopathic stuff, right? That's what the Native Americans were doing. That's what the pagans were doing. And so the Puritans, so the Native Americans, these pagans, saw God in nature. My favorite, oh, thank you, Nicole.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Nicole.
So the Native Americans, these pagans, saw God in nature. Right, and if you were around when I did a deep dive into the Navajo for skinwalkers, the Navajo taught that black magic was working against nature to manipulate nature for your own selfish desires, whereas white magic or light working was learning how to work with nature to flow with nature. They weren't trying to interrupt it. Okay, so that is where the Native Americans, what their stance was on nature. The Puritans, however, taught that the devil was in nature. This is going to be very, very, very important when we get to the Salem Witch Trials, which you guys will see why, because believe it or not, the Salem Witch Trials have a whole hell of a lot to do with what's happening right now in our world. And we'll get to that when we get to the Salem Witch Trials. So here we have this park, this state park that the Puritans are saying is possessed by the devil because the Native Americans were using this potent area to collect herbs and to help benefit their society, right? Okay, so I hope that makes sense. All right.
Robert, no.
No, crucifixion didn't happen. Robert, that's satanic. No. Loving God does not require human
That
sacrifice.
was Mithra, not Yeshua.
All right, only Lucifer requires human sacrifice. All right, so now there is legend that Satan has been spotted sitting atop the waterfalls playing a fiddle. Sounds a little bit like a devil. Charlie Daniels' bed. Devil came down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. He was in a bind. He was way behind because he was willing to make a deal. Came across a young man playing on a fiddle. I can't remember the rest of the words. Anyway, so sounds very Georgia. Anyway, and there are holes in the falls that are caused by the devil, according to local legend. Now, this all happens around Chapman Falls, and this is considered the principal feature of the park. It drops over 60 feet, and at one point, it operated a mill in the area until about 1860. So what I'm going to ask first, let's just ask a very logical question first. Is Chapman Falls a portal?
Let's ask.
It's a logical question, right? Is it a portal? And again, guys, portals are not inherently bad or inherently good. They're literally doorways into something. I think it's logical, right, Bonnie? It's logical. Is this a portal? So, let's see.
Yep, 6 of Swords. But it was used as a good portal.
By the natives.
Yeah.
So, follow-up question now.
It was shut down.
They shut it down?
Yeah.
Well, let's ask, was it being utilized by the bad guys?
By the blackies?
By the controllers. That's my favorite, is the controllers. Oh, the Georgia Guidestones went down the anniversary of Charlie Daniels' death. Greg, so Charlie Daniels was a huge Mr. T supporter, too. That is the only country music concert I have ever been to was Charlie Daniels, because I'm not a fan of country music.
I saw him for free at a fair in Connecticut.
So when I went to the Charlie Daniels concert, The Devil Went Down to Georgia was the only song I knew. So
yeah, they did use it as a portal. Yep. They sure did. I have the Sun card and the High Priestess card with the 3 of Swords. So it's almost like in order. They did also like with the 3 of Swords. That's endings, like that's heartbreak. So I almost wonder if it was for ritualistic use to do stuff.
Let's ask. Were they using it for? Were they taking the energy? Were they taking the energy to
do
like the potency to do their because again, guys, black and white magic use the same tools. They utilize the same tools, like tarot cards, all that kind of stuff. They're just tools. They don't matter. It's the conduit that matters, right? So, oh, that's our coven card, isn't it?
It is a coven card with the Knight of Swords. So the coven was taking action. And so this particular deck has 5 bonus cards. I have a Tree of Life card. So what I'm getting from that Tree of Life, that's pretty self-explanatory, Tree of Life. So harnessing energy of the light, because the devil cannot create, only steal. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of to open up that portal. But yeah, this was... Yeah, absolutely. They were harnessing energy.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was our energy of the light in order to, it's only like, so this portal, it seems like can only be opened by light energy.
Oh.
So it's an organic portal.
Interesting. Well, can I ask then, we have these legends of people seeing Satan sitting atop the waterfall playing a fiddle. Listen, if I saw an apparition sitting on top of a waterfall playing a fiddle, I would literally crap my pants, or pee myself, because I don't crap my pants. I'm a girl.
I'm trying to think what I would do. Knowing me, I'd be stupid and probably make friends with it.
I would probably run in it. And Stephanie, am I clairvoyant?
Very much so. We walked into a town near us, and she looked in. What I told her, yeah, that like Brad. So if you guys have been to Connecticut, been to the Bradley Playhouse, it is haunted. I live very close to it, and we were across the street. She goes, yeah, I know. I see a ghost right up, and I see an apparition right in the window there. And then she was able to communicate with the spirits in my house because I have a very haunted house. Nothing bad. We're all good.
Yeah. So Alice, the 1,000 years of peace already happened, honey. Already happened. That was Tartaria, which we'll get into. So yeah, there's a little boy in our house who told me his whole story. So anyway, I've always seen ghosts, always since I was a kid. So, but if I saw a devil playing a fiddle on a waterfall, I'd probably just run the other direction. So can we ask though, is this legend real? Are people actually seeing an apparition on the waterfall 60 feet up in the air playing a fiddle? I don't know what 60 feet is in meters, guys, for our friends who are not American. I apologize. I did not look that up, but that's a quick Google search so you understand how high that is.
No, I think it was just like one of those things where you play like telephone kind of a thing and you hear these rumors and it causes delirium and anxiety. And so your brain can play tricks on you. No, this is actually like, so I have the Tower card, the Seven of Swords, Nine of Swords and the Seven of Wands. So to me, that was like anxiety, causing kind of delusion and everything like that. And it was just like, it could have been even, these could be people on hallucinogens too. Because I know the people around that area, they get all hippie.
Hey, I love my mushrooms.
It's so people in that area specifically love hallucinogens, and I know that for a fact because I lived in that area. I didn't do it, but I knew a lot of people who did, and that was actually a generational thing, from what I had heard from the families there. So
thank you guys for the super chats again. You guys are freaking awesome. You're literally going to be funding our gas to our next location.
Thank you so much.
So thank you for that. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so that must have been, or it could be like, they're trying to create this lore of this devil. So, all right. Well, since they're not really seeing him, there's some weird thing how the holes in the fall, there's like these holes that are generated in the falls, from what I understand. We are going to be going to this park at some point, guys. And I don't know how to actually share screen with the live, so that's why we don't have any pictures up. But again, it's Devil's Hopyard if you guys want to look at the pictures. Can we ask, the holes in the waterfall, they claim it's caused by the devil, but I'm going to ask, are these holes, first of all, let's ask, are these holes real? Oh, yeah, let's show the cards. We'll show the cards. All right, so if the holes, let's first ask, are these holes that are formed by the waterfall real? Or is this another like urban legend? Holes? It's like holes that are caused by the waterfall. I don't know, I'm not a science person, so listen, my whole family, everyone's a doctor. That was not me.
It's a holy waterfall.
It's a holy water. Go baptize some babies down there. Oh. Can we hold these up when they're coming out?
No, I'll just, when I go to read them, I'll
okay.
Unless, sorry, I didn't mean to get all bitchy there.
No,
don't hold my cards.
So if you guys know how holes are formed in waterfalls, you can feel free to put it in the text. That's just not my wheelhouse. It's not.
Don't go chasing holy waterfalls. Listen to the whatever the rest of the
stick to the lakes and the whatever you're
and
used
the rivers that you're used to. We're getting all 1990s all on you guys. I gotta process this, so keep talking.
Effects of the portal. I don't know. I've never been through. Well, actually, a woman's vagina is a portal, so I guess we've all been through a portal at some point because we all came through the birth canal. So, oh, that's his cool.
It's a wasp.
Oh, just leave it. He won't. If you don't bother him, he won't bother you. I'm not afraid of bugs at all, and Stephanie's terrified of them.
I'm terrified of spiders.
They don't scare me at all.
Does this make any sense to you?
Well, I think it might be timeline, and to a cup. So I'm thinking because that was I was asking
portal energy
I'm asking if the holes were the reason why I'm asking this question is that like a side effect of the portal? You know, like when you throw a pebble in a lake and it like makes the rippling. Like that's what I kind of think these holes are. That's what I'm getting from this.
So, I mean, it's definitely a legend with the Page of Swords, or this has been something that has been talked about for a while now. I do feel like some of it's truth, and I feel like some of it's not. The reason is like, you know how sometimes when we really want something to be true, we kind of become delusional about it and kind of make up stuff. This is wishful thinking. So it's like, I feel like people do want that to kind of be, because it makes it more mysterious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm kind of getting that, but I feel like maybe it depends on your vibrational frequency. Because I have the King of Coins here. So maybe people of the elite, you know what I mean?
Listen, the elite are high vibrational too. They're just high vibrational on the other side.
Exactly. And I just feel like with the King of Pentacles, that they're able to more or less see the holes in the waterfalls. I think it really has to do with your vibrational frequency, whether it's high in the negative or the positive. And again, I also have the Queen of Wands. So Queen of Wands is like somebody of high intuition. So that could be, you know, the King of Coins could be like the elitists, and this could be anybody with high intuition, whether you're for the light or not, is able to see that. And then we have this Six of Cups. So
It's past life.
I'm almost wondering if it also depends what lineage you're in.
Okay, that was kind of leading me to my next question.
Okay, so
And again,
that validates that because I wasn't sure.
So again, this is a precursor into our Salem episode, guys. That's why I'm doing this as a quick live, because the real Mac Daddy is going to be Salem. Were the Native Americans of this area Tartarian? Were they Tartarian? And again, for those who don't know, Tartaria is, our true history is a bunch of fairy tales. Tartaria was the 1,000 Years of Peace. There's a whole incredible documentary about it, 7 hours long. I'm going over it with Shanti over on Aquarius Rising Africa. If you guys are on that channel, if you're not, go over and subscribe to it, because they have awesome guests on there, and we are going through that Tartarian stuff as well.
So I have the Two of Cups, so I feel like the Two of Cups is saying they weren't necessarily Tartarians, but they were definitely partnered with them, like worked with them. They had the same philosophies. They had the same goals. They were peaceful. And then they were also, because they created, when the end of Tartaria happened, they, you know, these controllers wanted to get rid of anything that was, do you want me to put that in? I'll plug it. Okay. Anything that was against the negative narrative. So they ended them too. So they were ended as well. But they really played a vital role with the Tartarians, because I feel like vibrationally speaking, they were on their same wavelength, but they were also trapped as well with the Tartarians at the end of Tartaria. So I feel like their demise was very similar to the Tartarians.
So Arlene just asked, this is a great question. So from my understanding, the way Lumeria was the time before confusion. Atlantis, then we moved into Atlantis, that was when polarity was introduced. Where we
yes,
had
Alice.
And then we had the fall of Atlantis, which was the apocalypse, the tribulation. Then we have Tartaria, which is the 1,000 Years of Peace. So I'm going to ask, are some Native Americans Atlanteans who slipped through the cracks of the apocalypse?
Okay.
So that's a great question, Arlene, because if they were partnering with, we know in Atlantis, like now, like Gog and Magog, where we are now, we have both good people and bad people, polarized positive, polarized negative, because we're basically mirroring, Gog and Magog is mirroring Atlantis. And so and we know that the O negative, like Magdalene was Atlantean. Her bloodline was O negative. My bloodline is O negative. That's Atlantean bloodline.
So the Four of Wands, the Empress, the Queen of Cups, Three of Cups, Temperance, and Six of Wands, absolutely they were Atlanteans that slipped through the cracks. Absolutely.
So were there Tartarians? And guys, this is going to come into our Salem.
And then I had the Tower card on the bottom, so.
Oh, Sandra, 1111. That's my favorite number at this point, 11. So,
And it even matches your dress, that little strip there.
yes, bring on some solar flares, guys. Let's get those 11s on so we can get those solar flashes
And it's
going.
511.
It's 511. Wow. Okay. All right. So, we're there. So, and as Natalie says, it's 111 there in Alaska. So, were there Tartarians there as well at the time of this whole debacle? When the Puritans came in and started to make, we know what that's like, guys. Like, we understand that at this point, right? Like, we've all been painted as crazy and bad and evil because we're supporting the truth, right? So that's what the Puritans were doing, that were compromised to the Native Americans, aka the Atlanteans, and possibly Tartarians left. When we're looking at, so the end of Tartaria and the transition into Gog and Magog was something called the Mud Floods, which gets too much to go into now, but it's when it took out all of the Tartarians to reset us into Gog and Magog.
Sun card, the Faith card, which is Hierophant.
Yeah.
Along with the Three of Swords, so they were ended and entrapped. So that's a yes, because I have the Sun card right there. And the Hierophant or the Faith card, which is like the Tartarians were high priestess and priests in the connected to the priestesshood of Isis and all that.
So are they some of the Atlanteans?
Yes, it's all interconnected.
It's all interconnected.
It's just different cycles of the Earth falling into a third dimensional space and then rising up again for a golden age and then going back down again. So the beauty is we're going into the final golden age. Thank God.
Yeah, we're
Thank
sitting.
God.
So if people are trying to tell you that this is thank you, Angel Warriors. If people are trying to tell you that this is like the apocalypse, that's bullshit. The apocalypse already happened. They're just fear mongering you. They're trying to get you into a low vibration, so we polarize negative. It already happened, guys. How do we know it already happened? Because we are about to ascend. They didn't ascend in 1,000 years of peace. They just went to 1,000 years of peace. All right. So let's see here. So let's ask who is now controlling Devil's Hopyard. Who now
In this here now moment.
In this here now moment, who is controlling Devil's Hopyard? And don't kid yourself, guys. This is not a movie. We're in the biggest war of our lives right now. And every single person watching right now is a vital role in this war. You don't have to be.
What am I asking again?
Who's in control of Devil's Hopyard?
I'm losing my mind. It's been a long day, guys.
Oh, my favorite cup. The Ace of Cups. There's that solar flash right there. Every single person watching right now, you are just as important as Mr. T. You are just as important as the Kennedys. You are just as important as the military. We're all in this together. We all agreed to do this together. Don't rest on your laurels. Keep working on yourself. Keep clearing your karma, because that's what it's going to take to get us into the end of this battle.
Ace of Cups, the Fool, Seven of Wands, and the Temperance card. So that's saying that the good guys had to fight for it, but they got it.
They got it. They got it. All right. Any more questions you think we should ask before we close up Devil's Hopyard?
How about we answer 2 or 3 questions from the chat?
Okay.
That pertains to this subject.
This subject. Again, guys, Stephanie's going to be doing a live show on her channel. I'll be moderating that later this week. Just keep your eye out where she can answer some of your personal questions.
And the time is to be determined, by the way.
Susie, I hope my cup's going to be running over, girl. I hope. It's kind of gross if you think about it, though.
Yeah, just TMI. TMI.
It's salty and it smells like Cheerios.
What is happening the 8th of August?
I don't know. We have to be careful with dates, guys. So dates, I would be very, very, very careful when you hear somebody say an actual date. And I would be very, very, very careful if you hear someone claim a portal is happening on an actual date. The calendar that we use is created by man. It's not a real calendar. So the real calendar, the closest we can get to the real calendar is the zodiac. Okay. So just be really careful with dates. I don't know if we can even look into, and we know from our channeling, the quantum time in the quantum is not the same as time here on the earth. It's frustratingly different.
So yeah, there's a couple things I don't read on, and I've been told by my guides not to. and by my own higher self, because I don't feel it's right. I don't read on dates. I don't read on times because, again, the quantum realm is much different than the physical. And I don't read on if people are going to become deceased or not. Absolutely a big no-no with me. I will not. Or if you're about to get a divorce or anything like that. So just very careful because that's stuff you need to figure out on your own. But where the tribes... So why don't we need to keep this to the state part, right? So...
Yeah. And let's see here. I just saw something that, let me look back a little bit. I saw something I was going to. Oh, what happens after Gog and Magog? We ascend. We ascend in a fourth density positive.
I'm going to get my skinny body and my legs. I had a dream, guys, that I grew tall with a skinny bod. It was great. It was a wonderful dream, needless to say.
Yeah. And so, but I just really want to, we're going into fourth. So this is a spiritual war. This is a timeline war and a spiritual war because the earth itself, if you read the Law of One, the earth itself has to ascend now. There's no choice. It's not going to say third density. But after third density, we come out of this idea of polarity. So all third density planets are planets of polarity, right? And so the earth has two paths it can take. It can either go fourth density positive or fourth density negative. Now, because it's a timeline war and a spiritual war, the powers that be are trying to control your conscious, your collective conscious, because we're the storm. We're the vibrational storm. We're what takes the planet in a certain direction. Okay? So if you hear something, ley lines in the park. Yes, we'll pull ley lines in the park.
Okay.
So if you sit there and you fearmonger people, or you tell them, it's the apocalypse, or if you tell them it's just a movie, relax, don't worry about it, the white hat's got it. What happens? You're either living in fear or you're not working on yourself, right? If you're not working on yourself, you're basically going into a fear-based polarization or waiting for someone to come save you. No one's going to come save you. That's cabal programming to think someone's going to come save you. And so the biggest thing we can all do right now is work on our individual self so that we together push that vibration up collectively. So we go fourth density positive and not fourth density negative. Because I guarantee you fourth density negative is not a planet any of us want to be on. Okay? So we're asking if it's on. That Tree of Life tells me yes.
Yeah, so Tree of Life card with the 2 and 1. So that's like near. Well, I'm actually going backwards here. Hold on. I'm going backwards. We don't want to go backwards. We can go frontwards. Okay.
Forward?
Forwards.
I think we should say frontwards.
I'm tired. Okay.
New word. It's no longer forward anymore. It's frontwards.
I make up my own
It's
verbiage.
frontwards now. From now on,
I make up my own
new
words.
timeline. It's called frontwards, not forward.
Okay, so 6 of coins. So that's like giving up. So it looks like we have the Empress and the High Priestess. So we have a lot of feminine energy in terms of, I'm getting yes, ley lines, yes, to answer the question. But I'm getting there's a lot of feminine energy around it. And there is a little bit of masculine energy with that King of Coins, but it's mostly feminine energy with the ley lines. Ley lines have a masculine and feminine energy, by the way. That's something I've been picking up in my readings. So, but it a lot of it's been blocked.
Oh, thank you, Jennifer.
A lot of it's been like blocked, but in the near future, we have the Tree of Life, so it will be harnessed for good again. Like the energies will go back to its natural ways again, like its natural form.
I think they probably have to block stuff. Just my intuition is telling me so that it can heal. The earth is a living thing too, and so it has to heal just like we have to heal. It has to detox. The earth has been massively abused itself, not in the way they want us to think it's abused, but by them. And so I have a feeling, just my gut's telling me that the once it's confiscated, they allow those parts of the earth to kind of be left to heal itself and to, I mean, we got that in DC, that the earth in DC had been healed. And I will say, if you guys were a follower of Jordan Maxwell, I remember him saying, well, he was instrumental in my waking up. I remember him saying once that the earth itself is inherently a feminine energy, where things like rain and the natural things that hit the earth are more masculine, because the rain that hits the earth, it's an Ace of Cups moment. It impregnates the earth with her ability to provide harvest. So that's probably.
Did we ask if the Native Americans were connected to devils, Hopyard, or not, or just witches?
Well, I think the Native Americans are the Atlanteans and the Tartarians. So yes, that was kind of where I was going.
Okay, someone was asking.
Because we're not quite sure exactly who the Native Americans were at this point.
2 sacred sites block the ley lines? I think that's a good question to ask, even if it's just very broad.
Yeah, but I don't think they're allowed to block. If so, here's the thing, guys. The whole concept of the universe is based off of free will. So I would assume the contract of our timeline here was that God allowed, the source creator allowed Lucifer to take over. So I don't think that that the earth would have the ability to block at that point, because that was the sole contract that was made. Does that make sense? We can ask though. Oh, you had so I've always been pretty open-minded, because I've always seen ghosts and have never truly been totally bought into everything they were telling us. I mean, I haven't had one of these since I was in high school. So I've been pretty clear of that. But Jordan Maxwell, so in 2016, I was in India and I was taking an oil bath, which I've done videos on oil bathing before. You just cover your body in oil. And I sit for an hour with my oil on, and I put this lecture on called the Saturnalian Brotherhood. And I couldn't touch my laptop to stop it because I was covered in oil, because I wanted to, because I started watching it. It was one of those, it was a tower moment for sure. It was definitely a tower moment. That's when it took me a year to process everything that he had said in that video, in that lecture. And the reason why it took me a year to process it is because I knew it was resonating as truth. And it like crushed me. It crushed me that all these things were lies. And so that was kind of the start of all of that for me. It was Jordan Maxwell.
Ley lines are not energetically blocked. They're blocked by water.
What floods? The flooding.
No, no, like man-made water basins and stuff like that. So which we got at the Hidden Isis Temple, at the Norris Dam. But I have the Two of Swords, which is blocking. Palace of Cups is a place where you go, there's water. So this could be the beach, this could be a lake, a stream. This is a bonus card in the tarot deck, this particular deck. And Secrets, the High Priestess card. So something is hidden. And it has to do with feminine energy. But it's definitely energy, because then we have the 10 of coins right here. So
can we ask, are they going to be used? Is this going to be a place for healing in the future? Are these types of places going to be like our new hospitals in the future?
I would hope so. It's absolutely gorgeous there.
I know. I can't wait to go. I've looked at pictures, but I haven't. Jennifer, Jordan Maxwell, he's amazing. And I guess I'm aware that there's conspiracies around him, but I kind of take those kind of conspiracies with a grain of salt, because we have
conspiracies around everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah. So, thank you, Keith. Thank you from New Zealand. Oh God, I hope you guys are hope you guys are okay in New Zealand. You guys got your asses kicked down there a little bit. And I New Zealand looks beautiful. I've been to Australia, but I've never been to New Zealand. But oh my God, it looks like such a gorgeous country. And I have had people say they see Tartaria buildings in New Zealand too. And again, if you want to take the pictures of your hometown that are Tartarian, to send it to Stephanie to make a slide. Q17 Amazing Grace, Q17 Amazing Grace Group at yahoo.com. Yes. All right.
So I'm actually getting root chakra healing. And the reason I'm getting root chakra is we had a King of Swords, the Emperor, and the King of Coins. So that's a lot of masculine energy. And masculine energy has to do with the root chakra, which is in the lowest chakra on you.
Yeah, it's in the. So guys, this is a great book. I've been advertising this book like crazy. I read this book a long time ago. It's one of the best books to beginning to understand the chakra system. You have more than 7 chakras, but those are like the main hubs of energy. And a lot of people right now in this truther movement are so fascinated with the psychedelic stuff, with the pine needle, the 6th chakra. But this is never going to be balanced and correct until the root chakra is balanced and correct, right?
And you never want to be too much up here, like you say, because you can actually get delusional.
Derangement.
But it makes sense that it would be used for the root, because there's so many trees there. It's all nature. And so trees are rooted to the ground. And so if you're going out in a place of nature, because this is a state park, so it's beautiful. There's so many trees, there's waterfalls, there's streams, and water is super healing and cleansing in itself. And then you have the trees, and you have the birds, and you have all the animals. So it's really, that's a great place to kind of ground yourself and root yourself for healing.
Yeah. And I would definitely, we, and Magdalene says this a lot. You can't ascend until you descend, right? You have to have in the yoga world, we have this term called a spiritual materialism. And you see people walking around with like all these mala beads and they're like dressed the part, right? Those people are usually the furthest thing from spiritual. The most spiritual people I know dress like you and me because they're working on grounding themselves more than anything. That's the most spiritual work you can do, is ground yourself into your body. Yes, you are a spiritual being having a human experience, but the most important thing you remember is you're having a human experience. You don't go to law school just to exist in law school. You go to law school to learn the law, right? So your soul multiple reasons why your soul decided to come down here. I believe most of us were at the fall of Atlantis, so therefore we had a round trip ticket. We had to karmically come back for this time, but we're also learning and growing as well, again, and taking these opportunities of being human. And the things like shadow work, that is something that you're always going to be working on your shadow side. It's never going to stop I'm still working on my shadow stuff. I'm still working on like trust issues and all sorts of stuff. And I've been doing this for 15 years. And yes, I'm a lot better than I was, but it's never, so just keep working on yourself, because that's why you're here too. There's the macro reason why you're here, why we're all doing this collectively together. There's also the micro, which is yourself. And the more you lean into that, the grossness of being human, the more you lean into the pain of being human, the betrayal, the more you're going to ascend, because you're going to start to clear it out. You're going to start to clean out that junk drawer and release it. Yeah. So get this book. Start exercising. And when I say exercising for spiritual health, I don't mean stuff that's going to be a distraction. So even though gardening is fun, even though playing in the pool with your kids is fun, it's escapism, because your mind is focused on something else. Do something that's going to pull you into your body so you can actually experience your thoughts and experience the sensation.
Kickboxing, bar, weightlifting,
yoga. Yoga's really good. So
Tai Chi, I think.
Tai Chi is great. I've done some Tai Chi in the past, so that you can actually feel. So that is another important thing about doing your part in this ascension as well. God gave you a body. I heard. Actually,
thank you, Keith. Keith's comment was very nice.
Aw.
Always I love the explanations we give. I actually got that yesterday, because you know what the thing is, like, we want to present the information to you guys in a way you guys understand. You know, I was once the same. I needed Bryce to explain it to me in a way I understood, so I totally get that.
Awesome, Jen. Yeah, Jan, awesome. And also, you guys remember, this is what I did for a living before YouTube. People have paid me a lot of money for this information in the past. So this is, and I feel like God sent me to India for my own healing, first and foremost. Going to India, that the reason why I can speak so openly about it and just talk about it is because I actually do practice what I preach. I work on myself all the time. And so, and that's the most important thing going forward. When we look at educational systems, right now our educational system is about memorization and regurgitation. But going forward, we were talking about this yesterday, this idea of what they call in Sanskrit, parampara, where you actually have somebody working with you, teaching you. Hands-on parampara is transmission of knowledge from guru to student. And so like when I go to India, I'm being verbally taught by my teacher, but I'm also being adjusted by him. So I'm feeling the transmission from his hands, and then I'm able to carry that forward to my students. And I think that's what it's going to look like going forward, because in order for us to really understand something, we have to know it. We have to have practiced it. It has to be a part of us. I don't have to look stuff up when it comes to energetic body, because I know it, because I've lived it, you know? And so I think that's the light the light we're moving into, is understanding that you hold so much information about yourself, and you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You're the only one that can drink that water.
And if they don't want to drink, just let it go. Don't ever put your energy in somebody that doesn't want to help themselves. You know what I mean? Like, I think we oftentimes, especially empaths, try to do that too. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
you got to have boundaries for yourself as well. So don't make yourself sick trying to change somebody. Only they can change themselves.
Yeah.
You can plant seeds. That's fine, planting seeds. But if they don't want to drink the water, then they don't want to drink the water.
And your karma in the East is just your work. It's nothing scary. It's just your work. It's just cause and effect. That's all it is. And that karma, that work, is not going anywhere. So if you don't work on it this life, I mean, God doesn't care. Your soul's eternal. So you're not on a time frame. If you don't work in this life, it's just going to come back in the next life. And so for me, I don't want to come back here.
Yeah, I think like, if I were to be told by God I was going to come back, I'd be like, yeah, okay.
I saw something on Twitter yesterday. For personal reasons, I will not be returning to Earth.
Please leave a message after the beep.
Same. I will be in Venus. I deserve a lifetime in Venus. That's all I got to say about that. So we don't want to do high school again, guys. We don't want to do high school again. So let's work on this stuff now. Let's get her done now.
Although who knows? Maybe we'll turn into Venus in this new 4D planet.
I'm still having fun in my body. I don't want to be a planet. I want to be like.
No, what I'm saying is maybe the 4D world as a
be
Earth,
like Venus,
because we're going into a final golden age, that will become happy humpers like Venus.
They don't have thumbs in Venus. I'm actually more fascinated about the fact they don't have thumbs on Venus. That fascinates me more than the the hokey pokey.
Krista, I cracked myself up too. Although she really cracks me up.
I'm fun.
She says the darnest things. We're fun.
I make Todd laugh too, her son. He doesn't want me to see him laugh. He walks away. But I watched him laugh night like anyway. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna hop off soon. We gotta go fold some laundry, and then we gotta. It's glorious life.
We're all fuddy duddies over here in real life.
Oh, thank you, Brenda. I gotta go. I gotta go fold some granny panties. And then we got an early morning tomorrow. We got a very early morning tomorrow, which we will keep you guys abreast. Follow up if you're on Twitter. You haven't, as I eat my hair. If you're not following us on Twitter, I am going to be posting videos as we go about, as we did in DC. We were posting videos live in the moment of location. So if you're not following us on Twitter, can I ask, you, Magdalene, YT Hill, Magdalene is there for you whenever you want her. You just call on her.
I've done readings on people where they did follow your advice on getting a hug from Magdalene. So Nicole almost got knocked down.
Yeah, I don't, guys, just because Magdalene has talked to me since I was 16, she is one of my guides. She's always with me. But just because Magdalene communicates with me, I don't own her. She's for you too. And she wants you to call on her. If you just call on her, just call on Magdalene. She likes to be called Maggie. You call her, because apparently her daddy called her Maggie, which made me emotional when she told me that. She loved her daddy. Just call on her and just tell her. She told me the other day she wants for you to just stand with your arms open, drop your head back so your throat is exposed with your chest, your 5th and 6th chakra are exposed, and just be like, please hug me. You will feel her hug you. You know, I said this before. We think, or at least I think of Magdalene a lot as this young, strong, broad, like this really just queen energy, just Mac Daddy smart. But she was also a mother. She had 5 children. She was also a mother. She knows how to love her babies.
I think also, too, it's important to also say as well, every single one of you guys has a team of guides. And you can also call on your guides, too. And some of you might have Maggie as a guide as well, you know? Mm-hmm. So call on your guides. Don't be afraid to call on your guides. And, don't be afraid to call on Divine Creator as well.
Thank you, Toronto. We're close to you, Toronto. How far are we from you?
Where's she?
Canada.
Oh,
Canada. We're very close to you. I wonder what the border situation's like right now.
I don't know.
Do we still have a Berlin Wall up? Very interesting, the Berlin Wall that we've got going on between our two countries. I know a thing or two about what's going on with that. That's very interesting. 12 hours. Hey, listen,
Hancock Homestead, that's Lindsay. Hi, Lindsay.
Oh, hey, Lindsay.
Hey, girl.
Hi. Yeah.
So, Lindsay's my personal friend in my actual life, so I know her personally.
She's awesome. We had a bonfire last night.
Yeah, it was fun.
We told some fun stories. But anyway, guys, I met Penelope the pig.
And we met Chuckles.
Chuckles, the humping turkey.
The humping turkey.
Old Chuckles and I have a lot in common there. So, anyway, guys, thank you guys for joining us again. This was kind of a precursor, just a small little video to. So, Amy, Twitter is just Esoteric Atlanta. It should be in the description box down below. Stephanie is her channel name too, correct?
Hugh?
No, your Twitter.
Oh, my Twitter. Oh, so okay. It's the abbreviations to my YouTube channel because it wouldn't fit in the name because I made my YouTube channel way too long. So SPOOGA_Steph17.
Jilly, you have to, if you just asked her while you were focusing on the live, that's not gonna, oh, Joni, that's so kind. Thank you. Oh, hey, girl.
Hey, girl. Hey, Joni. Thank you so much.
Jilly, when you ask Maggie for a hug, you need to be by yourself and in a position to actually be receptive. If you're focusing on the Twitter or the chat right now and the live, then it's probably not going to work, right? You need to be totally alone in a time of receptivity to feel her. I hear her when I'm on lives because I've been listening to her since I was 16. So it's kind of like that. It's like Stephanie says before. We have this saying. My teacher used to say, "Practice all is coming." You have to practice your intuition. You have to practice these things to get sharp at it.
If there's a little inkling that you might be fearful of being hugged by something in the spiritual realm,
they won't do it.
They won't do it because they don't want to scare you.
Yeah.
Because any entity of the light will not scare you.
No.
So I want to, if you are not feeling that hug or that embrace, it could be because your subconscious does have a little bit of fear about it.
Victoria, I drove through North Carolina. That is one of the longest stretches. When you're driving from Georgia all the way up the East Coast, North Carolina takes forever. And Virginia takes forever too. Anyway, but all right, you guys. Oh, thanks, Toronto. Thanks for sharing that. All right, you guys, we're going to sign off soon because we got to go fold some granny panties and get ready for tomorrow. So, again, this was just a precursor into our deep dive into Salem. You guys will see why when we do our video over Salem will not be a live video because it's going to be a big one. And so I'm going to have to film it, edit it, and do all that kind of fancy stuff. So it's more compact, and we're not going off topic, and we're not cracking jokes. We're literally focused on the topic at hand because from what I've gathered so far, this is a really important story. Thank you. Bing, bing, bing. I need glasses.
I love that.
Glasses.
Bing, bing. Thank you.
This is a really important story for what we're going through right now. So if we're in a bookend of events, that was the start. Thank you,
Mama Sabi.
Sabi, yes. I need
Mama
my glasses. Aw, to them all. That's so sweet.
Thank you
Back
so
at
much.
You. Takes one to know one.
Stay tuned for more shenanigans, right?
Follow us on Twitter. We'll be posting videos.
That's where all the fun is.
That is where Twitter's fun.
Twitter is really fun.
So
that sounded really bad.
I hear my Twitter's quite fun as well. Hence why my needle chart got stolen. Seriously, hence why my needle chart got stolen. I didn't know how fun my Twitter was until my needle chart got stolen.
Gotta laugh about this.
That's how we take them down, guys. We laugh at them.
Thank you guys, too, for your support. And if you donated, thank you so much. And we appreciate you guys following us and hitting the like button and all that fun stuff.
Thank you to Toronto, Natalie from Questioning the Narrative, and Bonnie the Boss.
Bonnie the Boss,
who is with us. She's been on our channel before, too. All right, guys. We love you all. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.